In rootstocks, you talked about kind of late-in identification or being able to see that that virus is there. In my understanding, stress is one of the factors that kind of initiates the virus. Is there a potential that we could be getting what is tested, even every vine got tested and it was 100% clean, and right after we take a crop from that vine, we now have possibly virus showing up?
So there are two parts in your question. The first one is stress will definitely exacerbate the severity of virus infection. There's no doubt, because if a vine has to fight drought stress or whatever type of stress, it puts all the energy to fight against what is detrimental to its growth. And on top of it, if it has to fight any pathogen, the virus, poor thing. In terms of rootstock testing, even if a rootstock, and that applies to sign material as well, has been shown clean in 2017, and depending on the location where it is, and again, if it's close to, in areas where mealybugs are known to occur, and they're known to occur wherever grapes are grown, right? Where tree hoppers occur, and especially when it comes to proximity to riparian areas. A program that is based on a rotation, a 5-year rotation in terms of testing, you think will maintain the cleanliness of the material? Will guarantee the cleanliness of the material? The answer is no way. No way. Okay, so the question is, so I'm going to repeat it so that everyone understands. Is a vine that is clean, will it remain clean in 5 years? And the short answer is no. Even if it tests clean in 2017, it is not guaranteed that it is clean in 2018, because let's assume a tree hopper carrying red blotch visited that vine in 2016. I do test it in 2017. The likelihood that I will detect a signal, a viral signal, is amazingly low, just because the virus has not built up to a detection level. So the virus is already there in 2017 test negative. If I don't test it in 2018, where I will likely pick up a signal, it will be carried for 5 years with the virus.
So it's more likely that you'll have false negatives?
Absolutely correct.
Okay, that explains. I think that was good.
Absolutely correct.
How frequent do you test again?
In an established vineyard, planted with purely new, clean vines.
So even, how frequently should we test, whether at an increased block or in an established vineyard? It all depends on the history of the vineyard in terms of what we know in terms of this infectious status or the cleanliness of adjacent vineyards. And then let's assume the increased block is clean, the commercial vineyard is clean. What is the status of the adjacent blocks? What do we know about the possibility of spread of either leaf roll or red blotch? Is it occurring or not? If it's not occurring, a test every other year would be fine. Again, assuming that testing is done at 100% on year 1, and then you spot check in year 2, year 4, and so forth. Now, if you are in an area where spread of red blotch and spread of leaf roll, one or the other, is documented, you might increase your frequency of testing, and you might increase how many plants also you test for these leaf roll and red blotch viruses. So this is an answer that might not be satisfactory, but there is not one fits all. It really depends, because I would hate for you guys to waste your money in testing if it's not reasonable. Visual inspection, Maher is indicating that, don't forget the power of visual inspections, with a caveat that Maher indicated and I mentioned during the past 2 days. There are many confounding factors in terms of the identification of virus symptoms or how reliable visual inspections are. You remember my comments.
I have a question. So we have a lot of vineyards that were planted at the same time, like mid to late 90s. And then I'm not sure that they were testing for leaf roll 3 specifically at that time. But it seems like after the 4 years of drought, now we're testing, and now we're getting a lot of positives, but it seems to be spreading super rapidly. Is it possible for the virus to stay dormant that long and then under prolonged stress just manifest itself all at once?
So yes and no. You have the impression that the virus is at bay or is quiet or is not very active, but it might spread, and you just don't see it because it spreads very slowly. And I'm not sure whether you attended the session yesterday on red blotch where I showed the tremendous impact on aggregated diseased vines. Once you reach a stage where aggregation is very high, and when I mean aggregation, it's just 30%, then it can go rampant very quickly. And again, it's just a simple numbers game. If you're a bug and you land on an area where there are a lot of infected vines, the likelihood that you will get the virus very high. You fly away or you crawl away, you end up with flights of insects carrying the virus and spreading it very quickly, versus a few individual vines there. And you picture that at the regional scale. And I think this is what might have happened. The other thing is, to keep in mind is the source of the virus can be either the scion bud or the rootstock, right? If it's the rootstock, yes, it might take years, 2 to 5 years, for the virus to move up into the scion and for the scion to start exhibiting disease symptoms. So you have eventually the impression in that case that spread is occurring, and it's actually not. It's just the latency period for the virus to move up. That gives you the impression that something is spreading. Thank you, everyone.